This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Rachel Fife.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. Now, are you looking for a residential home versus an assisted living community for an aging parent or a loved one? Well, that resource may be closer than you think. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing your good neighbor, Michelle Kellogg with Sterling Senior Care Communities. Michelle, how is it going?
It's going well. Hopefully everything's going well for you.
It is. Well, we're really excited to learn about your business. So tell us about your company.
Sterling Senior Communities started about 12 years ago. Myself and my business partner are both nurses. We both had the pleasure of taking care of our grandparents. My grandmother lived to be 107. His grandparents lived to be in their 90s. And as nurses, we were home health and hospice nurses, going in and out of board and cares and assisted livings all day long. And we didn't like them. We thought they warehoused the elderly and didn't treat them with the dignity and respect they deserve. And so we decided to start our first one, and we've steadily grown since then.
Wonderful. Well, how did you get into this business?
Actually, I'm a nurse with a hospital background, and I kind of got fed up with the politics of the hospital. So I went into home health and hospice, and the lady that I worked for that owned the hospice, she mentored me into the board and care world. And 20 years ago, the board and care or the residential care facilities were the Wild West. It was kind of a do-all free fall. And the state then really clamped down. Now we are all state licensed with state surveys every year. The ombudsman is in there, so it's a much more rigorous program and one that has a lot of oversight. But myself and my business partner got into it because we didn't want to over-medicate, underfed, and ignore our elderly. So we developed a program for them. And it includes a geriatric personal trainer. It includes music therapy, occupational therapy, and activities all week, which is a little different. Not all facilities can do that. Because we have 15, we're able to offer more. And we do pass that on to our elderly. That's who the priority is and who we want to take care of.
Okay. What are some maybe myths or misconceptions in your industry?
I think that the biggest misconception is that I'm going to take my mom there and people are going to ignore her and she's just going to waste away, which is not the truth. When the elderly are more independent, they can go to an assisted living, one of the bigger facilities that offers activities, all kinds of outings. I mean, they're great when you're still mobile and you're still cognitively functioning. But as time progresses and you need more medical attention, along with that one-on-one care, that familiar face, when your daughter or son can't be there all the time, then that's where the residential care facilities come into play. We're much more of a home-like atmosphere. We're in a residential home that's been modified for them, that has been OSHA and Cal State approved. And it's a safe environment. It's an environment that the elderly can thrive in.
Wonderful. Wow. So now we know really marketing is the heart of every business. So how do you target your customers or your residents?
There's actually companies out there that pretty much do the marketing for you. They're called placement agents. I like to use them because they do the hardest part. They get the client, they do all of the information gathering and come to me with, Michelle, this patient is 80 years old, has to be in a wheelchair, needs assistance in showering, needs to have their food chopped up, needs their medications given. And by the information they're giving me, it lets me know, yes, I can handle this if I have a right house for them. And it also, it is free of charge to the family and to the resident. So it's no cost to them. And it's someone doing the footwork.
Wow. Now, have you ever thought about doing your own podcast?
No, I haven't. With 90 residents to take care of, I am not an absentee landlord, and so I'm very busy.
Okay. Now, outside of work, I'd love to hear what you like to do for fun.
Well, yesterday I was out biking along the beach. Love to go to concerts, love to be on the beach, just out and about.
Wonderful. Well, Michelle, please tell our listeners one thing they should remember about Sterling Senior Care Communities.
That we're fair. That's the biggest thing. As my grandmother aged, I watched more and more people try to take advantage of her. And our business agreement, my partners and I, the very last line of it is, we will never bring shame or dishonor upon our grandparents. And we reflect that in how we treat the families, how we treat the residents. And that is, we respect their budget. We're not, once we agree upon a price, it's a set price. We don't nickel and dime. We don't charge move-in fees. We don't charge for incontinency fees. A lot of the things that some houses may have to charge for, we don't have to. We prefer to have a lower profit margin to actually help the family, help the seniors. This is where I get my best advice in life. This is where I get financial advice, love advice, life advice. Everything comes from my seniors. So in turn, just treating them with respect and dignity and treating the family with fairness.
Wonderful. Well, how can our listeners learn more about Sterling Senior Care Communities?
We do have a website. It's sterlingseniorcare.com. And they can call me. I don't know if I'm allowed to give out my number, but they can call me directly if they have questions. I'm a nurse advocate too, so I'm always open to help any way that I can.
Wonderful. Well, Michelle, I really appreciate you being on the show, and we really wish you and your business really the very best moving forward.
I appreciate that. And if anybody does want to get a hold of me, my number is 714-357-1377.
Wonderful.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnporangecounty.com. That's gnporangecounty.com, or call 714-941-8862.
Well, wonderful.